Instruction Math. Today our lesson is going to be about the average rate of change. So on your note taker, I want you to think about this first. Have you or a friend ever had a job that got paid by the hour? Write down your hourly rate and be ready to share. Teacher, pause the video and then have students share with you. And I'll meet you back here in a couple of minutes. Welcome back. The first thing we need to do is a math check. These are the things that we need to be able to do. So teacher, pause the video and see if the students can recall these 3 questions. I'll meet you back here when you're ready. Welcome back. Let's go to our slate and let's look at these things. The first question said, do you remember what the formula for slope is? And I do. The formula for slope is you subtract the y's over subtracting the x's. It's rise over run. It's y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus, let's make that an x sub 1. That's what it looks like. That's the formula. Now the second question said, if f of x equals to 2x plus 1, what's f of 3? All right, so I need you to know what this is. This is function notation. Usually they use either notation. All right, either they use the F, the G, or the H most commonly. What this says is whatever comes next is a function. All the variables will be x, and in this case it will be 2x plus 3. Now they want you to find f of 3. Notice that they've replaced the x by the number 3. That means to come over here and do the same thing. Wherever you see an x, replace it by a 3. Now you're going to do the math. Remember, in order of operations, we multiply before we add. So 2 times 3 is 6 plus 1. So the answer is 7. Now, what is a function? All right. A function is for every x, there is one and only one y. Right, so we're going to talk more about that, but that's really what it has to be. So that for every number 1, look at this, 1, 2, 2, 4, and 3, 5. This is a function. This is x and this is y. So every number has 1 is matched with 2, 2 is matched with 4, 3 is matched with 5. This is not a function. Is if I have 2, 5, 3, 6, and then I have 2, 8. That's not a function because here 2 matches with 5 and here it matches with 8. That's why it's not a function. Every x has to have one and only one y. All right? So we'll be talking a little bit about function notation in this lesson. So teacher, pause the lesson if students need to still copy down some information, and I'll meet you back here in a minute. Welcome back. Let's go back to our PowerPoint and look at our objectives for today. The formula for slope, then I showed you how to put it in, and it's a relation for, and a function is a relation for each value from the first set of components of the x is associated with exactly one value from the second set of the y's. All right, so here's our objective. So on your note taker, fill in the missing words. Define terminology today. Identify the symbols and the formula used for rate of change. And 3, calculate and interpret the average rate of change of a function. And even though it sounds a little scary, it's really not too bad. It's a lot like slope, and that's why we tested you at the beginning. Here's your vocabulary term for today, and it's rate of change. And what the average rate of change of a function is over an interval from one number to another, like from 5 to 10 or 1 to 100, is defined as the change in y. That little triangle sign means delta. It means change in y over the change in x. It means the function evaluated at b minus the function evaluated at a over b minus a. The change in values of the function over the change of time is usually what it means. So what I need you to do is fill in a picture or a drawing, define it in your own words, and write a meaningful sentence. And teacher, what I need you to do is pause the video, have the students complete this, have them share one of the pieces of their vocabulary square with their partner, and then call in non-volunteers. I'll meet you back here in a couple minutes. Welcome back. Let's go on. Now here's what it means. The delta, we call it a delta, not a triangle when we're talking about function, means the difference or change in. All right. F of A or F of B means the value of the function at A or B, and we say F of A or F of B. Now what I want you to think about is, how does this compare with the formula for slope? Teacher, pause the video, have the students discuss it for a minute or two, and then call on non-volunteers, and I'll meet you back here shortly. Welcome back. Notice they look very similar. Both formulas are a ratio of the difference of the y values to the difference in the x values, just a little bit different. We're going to be using the rate of change formula more than the slope formula in this lesson, but they're nearly identical. So on your note taker, please fill in the missing things that are in red. Pause the video so students can complete that task. Welcome back. Example 1. All right, please fill in the missing values on your note taker. It says Sam owes his parents $500 for helping him buy a set of tools. He can pay off $100 each 2 weeks from his paycheck because he only gets paid every other week. The question is going to be, how long will it take him to pay off the debt, and what is his rate of change? So after you fill in those 3 values, we'll go on. So on your note taker, there's a table, and I want you and your partner to work to complete the table. All right, teacher, pause the video, and I'll meet you back here in a few minutes. Welcome back. Let's check to see. At week 0, he owed $500 because he just got it. After week 2, $400. After week 4, he's now down to $300. Week 6, $200. Week 8, $100. So on week 10, he finally paid it off. He owes them nothing. So the next thing I want you to do is graph these pieces on the graph on your note taker. Connect the dots, and I'll be back with you in a minute. Welcome back. Let's check your graph. Here's my graph. Please remember when you graph and it has meaning to please add in the labels. So the horizontal axis is weeks, the vertical axis is dollars. So at 0 weeks he owed $500. After 2 weeks he still owed $400, all the way down to when he got 10 weeks he owed $0. So double check that you did that correctly. All right. So the next thing we want to do is we want to find the rate of change. So when you are ready to start the video again, we're going to go to our slate. Welcome back. Let's go to our slate. All right, so what I know is, here's my formula. Delta y over delta x equals the function of b at b minus the function at a over b minus a. All right, so I'm going to pick 2 values. I usually like the farthest apart, but it's your choice. So after 0 weeks, he owed his parents $500. After 10 weeks, he owed his parents $0. So these are going to be weeks. All right, so here I'm going to go. F of, here is A, here is B. All right, so I'm going to go F of 10 minus F of 0 over B is 10 minus 0. So what's the function at 10? The function at 10 is y value, so it will be 500 minus the function at 0. Oops, I think I did that backwards, didn't I? Yes, I did. Let me erase that. So the function at 10 is here. That's $0. After 10 weeks, he owes his parents $0. The function at 0 was he owed his parents $500 over 10 minus 0. Signs in these are very important, and remember these are weeks. So I get negative $500 over 10 weeks when I do the math, or it simplifies to give me negative $50 per week. It asks me what it means, and it means that what he owes, and it's Sam, what Sam owes, decreases because of the negative sign, $50 per week. Okay, So double check that. Teacher, pause the video. Students need to copy this down into their notes, and I'll meet you back here in a minute. Welcome back. Let's go back to the PowerPoint. So here is what we did where I actually typed it in. It will take him 10 weeks to pay off, and his rate of change is negative 50 per week. That means he paid off $50 per week, just what we got on our slate. Here's example 2. Please fill in the missing values again on your note taker. Louisa called your home repair business. You quoted her $150 if the repair takes 2 hours, and if it takes 5 hours, the cost will be $375. What's the rate of change? So pause the video until the students have the values put into their note taker, and I'll meet you back here in a minute. Welcome back. Now work with your partner to complete the graph and to interpret the rate of change. So you're going to make a graph, you're going to find the rate of change, and you're going to interpret it. So go ahead and pause the video, and I'll meet you back here in a minute. Welcome back. Let's look at our graph. I plotted on our graph on the horizontal axis, I have hours. On the vertical axis, I have how much he charged. So I know that he charged 2 hours was $150, so I put a dot there. 5 hours was $375, I put a dot there. And I also connected it back to the origin because I logicked out that if he worked for 0 hours, the customer would owe him $0. So there's my graph. Now I'm going to look at the rate of change, so I'm going to go to my slate and let's work that out. All right, so I remember that the change in y, or delta y over the change in x, and in science they use those deltas too, means f of b minus f of a, the function at a and b, over b minus a. So let's get my 2 ordered pairs. My 1 ordered pair is if he worked 2 hours, he charged $150. This is going to be my a. If he worked 5 hours, he charged $375. Again, this is hours, and that's going to be my b. So here I go. F of 5 minus f at 2 over 5 minus 2. So my function at 5 hours is $375. Minus at 2 is $150 over 5 minus 2 is 3, and that's hours. Let's do the math. When I subtract, I get $225 per 3 hours. That'll simplify, and I get $75 per hour. What does it mean? It tells us that the business charges $75 per hour of work. All right. So take a second, double check your answers. Teacher, pause the video if you need to, and I'll meet you back here in a minute. Welcome back. Let's go ahead and go back to our PowerPoint, and let's see. Oh, look, I got them right. Ooh, 2 answers in a row. So exactly the same thing that we just talked about. Now here's a you try it. We want to do 2 different rates of change though, because it says a roofer kept the following table showing how many square feet of shingles he could install. All right, so what is his average rate of change from 50 square feet to 100 square feet and from 200 to 250 square feet? So please fill in the missing squares, and I will meet you back here after you've had a chance to work the problem. Please make sure you double check with your partner. Welcome back. Let's go ahead and go to our slate, and let's figure it out. First of all, we wanted the change from 6 hours to 12 hours. So delta y over delta x is going to be f of b minus f of a at over b minus a. So this is going to be the function at 12 minus the function after 6 hours over 12 minus 6. When I plug those values in, I get 100 minus 50 over 6. So I get 50, and this is square feet over 6 hours. Now you can simplify it if you wanted to go further, and you could go 8.33 square feet per 1 hour. Next one said to do delta y over delta x is equal to f of b minus f of a over b minus a. This time they want the results from 25 to 32 hours. So we put f of 32 minus f of 25 over 32 minus 25, which will give us 250 minus 200 over 7. So I get 50 square feet for over 7 hours. If I simplify that, I get 7.14 square feet per hour. So the rate is decreasing. And that should make some sense. People either get tired, or as they've laid more of the roofing, or other reasons. It could just be the harder areas where they needed to do more custom cutting. All right. Teacher, pause the video until students are finished. And I'll see you back here in a couple minutes. Welcome back. Let's go back to our slate. Let's see if I got them right. Exactly right. Boy, I was rolling on this one. And then what I want you to do for closure is take 2 of the prompts and fill them out. Write the prompts on your note taker and then fill out your answers to the prompts. Teacher, call on non-volunteers, and I'll meet you back here again in another time for another construction math video.